This is Focus on North Central Ohio, a weekly news program produced by the WMFD TV News Department. Now, here's your host, Brigitte Coles.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Focus on North Central Ohio. I'm Brigitte Coles. Sisters P.J. McLean and C.S. Jenkins, who reside in Barberton and Wadsworth, Ohio, have teamed up to present a cuddle-worthy new book for young readers called The Bears and the Baby. Well, today I'm joined with these two wonderful ladies to talk about their wonderful book. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, so everyone understands who you are, P.J. and C.S., and I love your names. They are just so cool. Well, tell us how you became involved with this book and a little bit about yourselves.
Well, this book actually started about 26 years ago, and she was going to have my first niece or nephew, I didn't know which, and she was a bear collector. And you could go into her house and there were bears everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And so I went to her house one day and I thought, where are all these little bears going to go once this baby gets here? And I started thinking about how a child would feel if that were them, you know, with a new sibling coming into the house, and just kind of tried to put those thoughts into the little bears. And I was doing a course for children's literature at the time, and one of my assignments was to take an inanimate object and make a story around it. So it worked out perfectly at that time to do something like that. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Now, when you shared your idea with C.S., what did you think when P.J. said, I've got this great idea for a book, and it's about your bears?
I kind of laughed, and then I thought, well, she told me that her professor said, this is really good, you know, you really should think about publishing this. And I thought, well, that'd be fun, you know, we should do that. And I said, we should do that. And she's like, we should do that. And then, you know, I had my kids, she had 4 kids, and it kind of got put on the back burner as stuff comes up in your life and happens. And then we had a few things occur that, you know, it sort of brought it to light.
Yeah, in 2009, you know, it, like she said, it had gone to the back burner. And in 2009, in April, she was on her way home, and it was a backcountry road, and she was hit head-on. And it totaled
a pickup truck crested the hill, and the driver lost consciousness, and he went left of center. And I was by a guardrail, so there was nowhere to go. So we went through all that mess. And then in December of that year, I'll let her tell what happened to her.
Yeah, in December of that year, just a couple weeks before Christmas, I had gone into the bank to do some banking, and it was early on a Saturday morning. And I, you know, had banked there for years, and I was talking to one of the tellers, and I heard the other teller say, "Oh no." And I turned and I looked, and over my shoulder was an armed gunman. The bank was being robbed. I was the only customer in the bank at the time. So it was pretty traumatic because the FBI said it was a violent robbery. When he left, he thankfully didn't shoot any of us, but he bear sprayed all of us. And so I ended up going to the ER, and so did one of the tellers, with chemical burns to like our faces and our eyes. And it was really tough to get through that. You know, I had a lot of bad dreams and things after, and she's like, you know, this has been a rough year, both of us. You know, there would have been a chance where we might not have been here. And we're together, we need to leave something for our kids. Get that manuscript out, we're going to write that book. And the book originally, in its beginning form, 26 years ago, didn't have all the characters that it has now. There was mostly just Binkley and chocolate truffles. And we thought, well, to make it a book and to make it good, we need to add some more characters. So that's kind of, we added more, and it became this. So.
Now, tell us about the characters. I love Chocolate Truffles and the Binkley Bear. And how did you come up with each individual character for your book?
Why don't you talk about their personalities first?
Okay. Well, Chocolate Truffles, as Connie always likes to say, is a bear that is prepared for everything.
Absolutely.
She carries
Oh, we got it right here.
Actually.
I love this. The pictures.
I don't know if...
And
Oh, you're
she's
so
prepared, as you can tell, she has a box of chocolate truffles. Well, she eats so many chocolate truffles, she's kind of got a little chubby belly too. So, but Connie can tell you like how she came up with exactly what chocolate truffles would look like with the cute little bow and everything. Binkley is another character. He looks like he would be a real fun character, kind of crazy.
Yes, I love the hat with all the colors. He's so cute.
But he's a very, for being such a fun little jester kind of bear, he's very serious, and
They say he has issues.
he does, because he's very nervous about this whole new baby coming into the house. He's kind of like, oh, I don't know about this. So I think that's who most of the kids relate to when their parents read them this story. So she can probably explain to you how she came up with the ideas of what the bears would look like.
Well, like I said, with chocolate truffles.
We're going to take a break. See us when we come back. We want to definitely find out about this because they are so adorable, these characters, and this is a great book. I'm just so glad you're here. We'll have more when Focus on North Central Ohio continues. Welcome back to Focus on North Central Ohio. We're talking about a wonderful children's book called The Bears and the Baby, and I am delighted today to have the illustrator and author joining us, P.J. McLean and C.S. Jenkins, who are also sisters who reside in Barberton and Wadsworth, Ohio. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here on Focus and talking about this great book and the characters. Before we went to break, we were talking about the characters, C.S., that you've developed, and you've got to tell us more about them because they are just so cute. I mean, I love these characters.
Well, like this chocolate truffles, chocolate's her thing. And
I think that's everybody's thing, the chocolate.
Well, the kids always laugh when we do our presentations because I always say she's a bear that's prepared. And we did these little pictures up like this because we talk about the different characters in the book. And we ask them, which character do you think you would be most like? And I always say that would be me because when I draw, I'm always afraid to bring coffee or any kind of liquid in where I work because I'm afraid I'll spill it. But you can look in my thing at any given time, there's chocolate in there. So, because I work at weird hours. So. And Binkley, you know, he has a fun name. And I thought a jester is a great thing for him, but he's a little bit of a yin-yang kind of guy because it's like, he looks like he should have no cares, and he's definitely the worrywart of the bunch. So he's kind of a fun character to draw this way and then go, wow. You can't judge a book by its cover.
You have some special pages in the book that I want you to share with our viewers, especially there's the address that's on the outside of the building.
I did a few things because of different things that had gone on in our lives. And I thought it should be something we remembered. In the book, on the address of the store where it says 4350, she was 43 and I was 50 the year that we decided we were going to do this book. So I drew it in so it would be something, you know, we would always remember because we didn't dedicate the book to anybody, this particular book. And then we have one page in here that's a double page. And when I say double, it's if you put the pictures together, it runs as a whole picture. But on each picture, she has 4 children, and I have 3 because I have a new daughter-in-law. So I drew something in for each of our children. Her oldest son likes to play basketball. Her youngest one does archery, so I drew in the bow and the quiver. My oldest son, one of his favorite movies is Indiana Jones, so I did the fedora and the archaeology book. Her oldest daughter has done the beauty pageant circuit, so we have the crown and the sash. Wow. Her youngest one is a cheerleader, so there's the megaphone. And then my youngest son, who will graduate in May, he's going to be a missionary, and he says he feels called to Strasbourg, which is on the border of France and Germany. So for him and his wife, there is a Paris travel poster, and there's also a book on Paris down here. But it's something, each of them, when they open the book up, it's special to them. They know it was put there specifically for them. So
I think that's
my
wonderful.
Little contribution.
That is wonderful. Well, BJ, can you explain how the book depicts the highs and lows of a new sibling through the eyes of a child?
Well, in the very beginning of the book, a man and lady go into a toy store and they buy Binkley and Chocolate Truffles, who are best friends. They are, the bears. And they take them home and they go to a sunny little room where there's other bears just like them, and they're really happy because they think, wow, this is great. You know, we have a home where the people love us, because the lady was a bear collector, and so she loves her little bears. And then all of a sudden they start hearing rumors that there's going to be a new baby coming to live with them. And some of them aren't really sure what a baby is. They know it's something that they don't think that they're going to like, which is kind of like a sibling, I think, would feel. It was kind of harder for me. She's the older sibling, so I kind of thought, I wonder what she felt like when I came home. She probably didn't like me too much. And so I tried to start putting things, you know, in perspective as to how a child would feel, and then the bears voiced that. And it just kind of went from there. And I know at one of the book readings and signings that we did, there was a lady that came with her little granddaughter. And she said on the way home, all she did was talk about this book because her little granddaughter had a new little baby brother. Wow. And when they were in the van, they were talking, and she said, Nana, I felt just like those little bears. Oh, that's cute. And, you know, Kathy said, wow, that's just amazing that these bears actually were able to put something in as to actually how she felt. She said, because up until then, we didn't really understand how she was feeling about her new baby brother. So, you know, I think it kind of helps kids understand, hey, that is how I feel. And by the end of the book, it shows a baby's really not such a bad thing to have. So hopefully that helps them to relate that it'll be okay. Mom and Dad will still love you. You know, their love doesn't change. They have enough love for everybody that comes into the house. So
that's one thing I really like about this book, that you're able to connect with siblings and also the parents. I mean, when you were developing this, well, how do you get the majority of your ideas? I mean, when you're sitting down and you were putting this together, were you thinking, well, I want to create something that everyone can relate to?
Well, I work at Latchkey in Norton, and so I kind of tease and I say I have over 100 kids because we pretty much have, on a daily basis, close to 100 kids. And kids can say the funniest things, and they don't even realize they're being funny. You know, they're saying it out of earnestness, you know, like, this is what I'm thinking. And you look and go, okay, you know. So a lot of ideas come from them. You know, her and her husband work junior church, and she gets a lot of ideas from them. So, you know, every once in a while I'll just sit down and I'll be like, wow, this would make something funny, you know, to put in a book or something. So that's kind of where I get a lot of my ideas, is from kids.
We're going to take another break, but we'll have more when Focus on North Central Ohio continues. Welcome back to Focus on North Central Ohio. We're talking about a wonderful new children's book called The Bears and the Baby, and I'm joined today with the illustrator and author, and they are wonderful ladies. They are also sisters. I have PJ McLean and C.S. Jenkins, and they reside in Barberton and Wadsworth, Ohio. So we are so fortunate to have such wonderful, talented ladies right here in Ohio. Again, thank you so much for being on Focus. Now, you both are extremely busy. What's a typical day like for you?
Well,
you said there is no typical day.
my day starts about 4:30 in the morning, and I get ready and head off to Latchkey, and I work with the kids until 9, go home, homeschool my kids, and I'm also going to school myself for journalism and mass communication. So I do school as well. I'm doing it online because that's the only way I have time, and I leave all the really hard stuff up to her.
I'm the PR, marketing.
You got everything.
Thankfully, I mean, I have my background's merchandising, and I had to do advertising, PR, and, you know, all that good stuff, marketing. So it's helped a lot. We've learned a lot. Usually what we do is we tag team. So we sit down, and about every week or so we make a list of the people that we feel we need to contact, and I start making phone calls. And if I have to leave voicemail messages or something, I'll let her know, and she'll tag it on her calendar, and we give them about a week and a half. We're persistent. You have to be with this. If you want to get this going anywhere, you got to be. But we'll contact back and wait and see if we can get some kind of rapport going between people. And it seems to work really well. I know my sister-in-law has published nonfiction through HarperCollins, and she's on her own. And it's a whole lot easier with two people doing this than one person trying to do it themselves.
Now, you have some appearances scheduled. Can you talk a little bit about that? We're going to be actually going out in your presentations, because you give some exciting presentations.
We've been busy.
Yeah, we have.
So I guess one of the big things we'll talk about right now, I don't know if you want to see this.
Yes.
December the 11th, we are going to be back down here at Richland Carousel Park, and we're going to be doing something called Bedtime Stories with Santa.
I like this.
Thank you.
And you did all of this.
I did.
Yes,
I
wow.
did. And anyway, we dropped a poster off for them and a flyer. I'm going to do a flyer, but it's going to be hot cocoa and cookies with Santa. My Santa, I know personally, is coming, and he's going to be sharing a traditional story, Twas the Night Before Christmas, as well as a special reading of The Bears and the Baby. We have caroling with the elves, and there's going to be carousel rides, a whole bunch of stuff for $5. And then if you want your pictures taken with Santa, it'll be an extra $5. But all the proceeds, including any books that we sell through the schools or that night, it's going to go toward Richland Carousel Park for any of the needs that they're going to have as far as refurbishing or whatever needs that the Carousel Park would have, because they're nonprofit.
And you do a lot of that. You really are helping out different organizations. What inspires you to do that?
Take it.
I think from what we went through in 2009, we realized we were here for a reason. And sometimes I think you have to have something traumatic happen in your life to really wake up and go, wow, I'm still here. You know, God left me here for a reason. I need to do something about it. And sometimes up until that point, you're a little bit afraid to step out on that limb and chase down dreams. But then after you go through something like that, you're like, huh, you know, I'm here. I need to do this. And I think we feel blessed, and we would like to just help other people. You know, we have this at the Richland Carousel Park. We're working with Project Learn. At the end of the month, we'll be doing a fundraiser with them in Wadsworth.
And I'm not sure if your viewers are familiar. They work with adult and children illiteracy. So it's to help with that.
And then we'll also, right now, we're trying to work with a battered women's shelter in Summit County. We would love to be able to do something somehow to help them, because you know the kids go in there and there's like nothing. So we're hoping that something
they have
will
all of our
materialize.
information and everything, so they're trying to come up with a good way for us to work together to do something.
Oh, I think that would be
So,
great.
and you know, that's like a lot of our charities that we're just trying. We're going to Northside Christian tomorrow to give a presentation, but while we're there, they're raising awareness for the Pajama Project.
And that's nationwide.
And it's nationwide, so we'll actually get to be a part of that. So we're excited because we had looked at the Pajama Project before we even, you know, got in at Northside. And so we were really excited when we found out they were going to be there too. So,
And they were so nice, because when they found out we'd really been looking at that, they scheduled us in so we could all come in on the same day. And we'll have an opportunity to kind of see how it all works and talk to the coordinator for this area.
That'd be great. We're going to take another break. We'll have more when Focus on North Central Ohio continues. Welcome back to Focus on North Central Ohio. We've been talking about the wonderful children's book, The Bears and the Baby, and I've enjoyed the day with the wonderful ladies who are behind this great book, the illustrator and also the author. I have PJ McLean and C.S. Jenkins, and these ladies are from Barberton and Wadsworth, Ohio. Again, thank you so much for being here. We want to give our audience the contact information so that they can get a copy of this book, but most importantly, they can come out and have a chance to meet you in person.
Well, we will be at Richland Carousel Park on Tuesday, December 11th. It's going to be cookies and cocos with Santa, and he will be reading the traditional Night Before Christmas, but then he'll also be reading our book, The Bears and the Baby. The book will be for sale then. Proceeds are going to go to help the Richland Carousel Park, and it's $5, and I believe an extra $5 if they want their picture taken with Santa. So that's going to be what we're doing down in this area.
And then you also have a website that people can go to order the books, and tell us a little bit about your website if you have that address.
They can go to Trafford.com, which is where the book is actually from. We also have a website, Our Sunny Little Room, which there's links on the side that'll take them to where they can order the book as well.
Go to Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, Books A Million. We do have ebooks out there for your all your little devices. However, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I like the physical book myself.
I like you.
So.
I agree. And if people want to contact you by phone, they can contact you, CS, that's okay?
They can contact me for any possible presentations, speaking. We do workshops now. We're working heavily with schools, although we have high schools that are now becoming interested because there is a need for some education in that area for your high schoolers that are thinking about becoming writers or illustrators, so we can give a little bit of a heads up. But it's 330-204-4497, and it's C.S. Jenkins.
And I wanted to thank you, ladies, so much. I wanted to share this with
You're very
the
welcome.
viewers, what you brought in for me. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you so much for having us
Yes,
down.
we appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to have you come back because I know you're working on a second book.
Yes,
so
we are.
We'll have to have you come back and talk about that one.
That would be
We will
great.
love it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
much.
And thank you for tuning in to another weekly edition of Focus on North Central Ohio.
Watching WMFD TV, Channel 68.1 in Mansfield, the only media outlet delivering North Central Ohio on TV, web, and mobile devices. Reaching all of North Central Ohio, this is WMFD.